All right, so this is the result of a 3-foot snowstorm and a 3 a.m. plowing event where gravity and ice got the best of my passenger side mirror assembly. So there's no primary mirror left. It was heated, of course, so it blew off. That's the end of that. The case is shot. I mean, 6 ways to Texas. There's nothing left here. Actually, even the front's all busted off. It all swung around backwards in one fell swoop. That was all it wrote. So this came off of a 2016 F350. And there are a million different flavors of this thing. From the base model, like a Ford XL Super Duty, I think from 2008 through 2016, they were all the same. And that was just your basic mirror, no electrics, no fancy stuff, pull in, push out. This is a telescoping deal. So, and then at the other end of the spectrum, which this is the power everything, heated everything, and not the least of which, let's see if I can see it underneath here, near this little hole here that's busted away, used to contain the outside air temperature sensor, which is integral to the air conditioning system, and will result in you getting a check engine light if you operate the vehicle without that little guy in place, as I'm well aware of. So, our friends at Ford had a bunch of different numbers going. What's really important is right there, 17682. After that, it's various flavors. You're going to see on other websites, if you found this, God bless you, you're probably already looking at what your options are for a towing mirror or replacement mirror on a big Ford. The difference between this and the steel body 150s of the same vintage, I think, is that this is a 4-bolt and those are 3 bolts, so they're not interchangeable. This is for Super Duty models, though it doesn't care which one, F250, 350, 450. It's going to fit on any of them. Probably will fit on a 550, I would imagine, but I'm not going to promise that. Thing about it, important to know, things I had to learn the hard way while I was trying to figure all this out. So the plugs, any of the powered ones are going to have some, no, that's wrong. The very limited power ones like have a blinker, I think. It's still all manual, except there's a built-in parking light blinker assembly. Pretty conventional, 3-4 bolt wire connector. This thing is a 22 wire connector. It does not have 22 wires, it has 18. And that's why on the back there are 4 open slots. So those 18 wires are for everything under the sun. Telescoping functions in and out, mirror side to side, up and down, heat, the outside air temperature sensor. So I started looking. This happened a week ago, last Wednesday, so the hunt took me days trying to figure out what's what. Let's start at the top of the line, buy it from Ford, have it installed by Ford. Well, there's $1,600 to have Ford provide brand new and buy. Now, if you go online and you want OEM from Ford, there are some Ford dealers out there that the price gets down around $1,000, $1,050 for the unit. But when you're buying like that brand new, there is a cover that goes here. On mine, it happened to be chrome. You have a choice of a black cover, which is 1 part number. You have a choice of a primed for paint cover. like a King Ranch, or some models had painted covers on those. All right, to continue, yeah, so you have a choice of these three caps. Now, interesting thing about the caps. Number one is they raise the prices significantly when you buy the OEM model with the cap. There is a base, not a base model, but a decked out version without the caps, which is going to get you down around, like I said, somewhere between $1,000 and $1,100. Start putting caps on it and you're going to pay more. Aftermarket caps are not easy to get, and OEM caps are not easy to get either, for that matter, but you can get them. And so probably OEM, brand new, least amount of money out of your pocket for one like this, the fully decked out, all the bells and whistles, $1,200. That's you doing all the work and buying it. So what are your options? Used is an option, which is where I went first. An A1 level used part is going to be $1,000. Could be $800, $850, likely $1,000. If you're going to get it for $1,000, they might kick the freight in to get it to you. Otherwise, if you're gonna try for the $850 guy, he's gonna nick you on freight, and that's a $50 bill. So do the math. But you can go use. Now after that, you start getting into what are called 1A parts, but they're not. They all have some idiosyncrasy. There's something the matter with something. Something's missing. Something doesn't work right. Whatever the case may be. I even entertained just buying a base model unit and swapping my guts into it. But that got tricky because this is screwed right here. That's busted out. So I don't have full functionality here. However, if I bought there is a XL option or an XLT base model, which has the heated remote controlled mirrors, but doesn't have the telescoping or the automatic closure or any of that stuff to them. So if I'd gotten one of those cheap enough, I might have been able to swap parts around and make that work, but why? So then there's always eBay, and there's a million of offshore players trying to sell these things. Great agita. I'm a big one on be American, buy American, but then again, I'm also a big one on not paying $1,000 for a side view mirror. So where did I land? So I landed here. All right, this is an eBay guy. There's plenty on, not eBay, my mistake. This is an Amazon guy. There's plenty on eBay, though I don't see Trail Ridge parts on eBay. So I'm out $500 and a nickel. For the base mirror, I still don't have the cap. I had to buy a pair of caps from these guys. They have repop caps that they sell. So I bought a pair from them that I haven't seen yet, so God knows what quality they're going to be. Hell, I haven't seen this yet. We're going to open this together and see what we got. But I will tell you that this, in this box, is a mirror that I believe has all the functionality of this poor destroyed beast. And it cost $505 delivered to the door with a lifetime warranty based on the mechanical components. If any of the components fail, they will replace it for free from the life of it. I didn't see that kind of warranty anywhere else. Hell, Ford doesn't give you that kind of warranty. And none of the other offshore brands did either. Then surprisingly, what I do know about this, as we turn it over, there's the model number that I got, but at any event, what's important is this part, made in Taiwan. So, things that spin and whir and make sparks is my business, so I know a couple things. And one of the things I know is that typically Taiwanese goods are cut above Chinese goods. This is not always the case. The Chinese are very much into consumer products, and they make a buttload of them, more so than the Taiwanese do. And that buttload of parts they make, or consumer parts they make, just by years of doing it, they've gotten better and better at it. The Taiwanese tend to lean towards plastic extrusion and electronics, industrial electronics more than consumer electronics, and also automotive parts, not cars, but parts. This thing kind of hits on all 8 cylinders because it's plastic and it's electronics and it's an auto part. So when I saw Made in Taiwan, it didn't satisfy my flag waving, but it satisfied my initial suspicion about the country of origin providing junk, but I don't know. We haven't been in it yet. There may be a bunch of busted parts in there. So I'm going to put this phone down because I'm not going to spend money on a GoPro for you folks. I'm going to use my phone to do this. So I'm going to put it down and I'm going to open this thing up and we'll see if we got a like item. So that's interesting, huh? I mean, I just opened the box and the first thing I see is this little deal with them providing nuts with it. I didn't expect that. Well, moving right along. Oh, where are we? So, little box. In the big box, open the little box, and what do I find in the little box? I find this guy, which I should have opened before I got the phone out. This is this is to replace that. I didn't order it special just because mine was broken. It comes with this mirror. Get out of there. All right, so as you can see, this is a smoked variety LED kind of thing. Great, I don't care. That works for me. I'm not looking for the style, but I'm looking for the functionality, and I'm sure, well, I'm not sure, but I assume it's got the functionality. What's important to know, though, is, he said, there are 2. So they were wise enough to send me 2 without me asking. I kind of thought as much. The Amazon pictures indicated there were going to be 2, but didn't have a conversation with them. So that replaces the one on the other mirror so that I have 2 like mirrors. So that's a win. All right, phone down. A brief view for you unboxing freaks. Styrofoam, form-fitted styrofoam. So it's well packaged, had a cover on it. Can't tell you anything else till I dig it out of there. Back shortly. All right, mirror. So this is a new guy. Comes with a little lecture about how to initiate the functions on it. That's nice. It's even offered in a form of English that's fairly legible. Heated mirror as indicated, matching the Ford product, even though it's an offshore knockoff. So on the top you can see, as was previously described with the old guy, these aren't, well, there's more parts missing than I thought there were. All right, so this is where the cap goes. Let's talk about the cap for a minute. The caps were 60 some odd dollars, call it 70 bucks. You have to buy 2. I did buy them from the same vendor that provides this product. This is a Trail Ridge, right? Is the brand. I think all you're buying here is, with that brand name, is the box and the other piece of paper that's important, the lifetime warranty. Otherwise, it's a Taiwanese knockoff and probably available somewhere else. These are sold by 1A Auto Parts, which has got its own website, but also has a storefront on Amazon. And They did not offer the caps on Amazon, so that's how I got talking to them on the phone. They do offer the caps at their out of their website, so I ordered them from there. So all in all, this is looking at 505 and 70. Call it 575. I'm in for 575, brand new. If I had bought a used one at this price, guaranteed it would have had issues that I would have to contend with, possibly successfully, possibly not. And when I was all said and done and it worked, I would have nobody to blame but me if it broke. This thing, I keep the box. I got my invoice on Amazon. It screws the pooch on me, back it goes. So it's a win. So to continue, there's that. This, of course, is where the side marker lights that they provided two of will go. Underneath you can see the location where the outside air sensor is. So this is the guy. And the next time I fire up this phone, we will be outside. I don't see a point in spending my life doing an install video with this thing. Lord knows there are plenty of them online. Plenty of guys do good soup to nuts take off and install videos of this type of mirror on a Super Duty platform, so you don't need me. There are a couple of idiosyncrasies to removing them. I don't think particularly unique to my vehicle. I think more across the Super Duty line probably, and I'll carry that on the video so that you see what I'm talking about there. But this is a simple swap. The key is doing enough homework that you're sure you got the right product. Doing your own risk assessment. Can you put up with something that's beat up and doesn't have all the function the old one did? If so, junkyards are your friend. Maybe you'll hit a gold mine somewhere and somebody will have one that's pristine and not know what they have their hands on. I doubt it. Most used auto parts emporiums are networked anymore, and they all have the interwebs. They can see what the other guy's charging for parts. So none of them get too far off the reservation. Maybe, but maybe your uncle owns one. I don't know. Mine doesn't. He's dead. So I bought new. I'm out for $575, and I think I said before I got a $500 deductible. If I'd made the claim, they would have sent me a check for $75, and then they would have raised my rates because nobody else was at fault but me. So for that $75, I'll eat the $75 and keep my rates where they are. Thank you very much. So next time I fire this up, we'll be outdoors. Right. So a couple days later, this is how I left it when I took the other mirror off. I'm not going to go around and around about this. You won't watch the reinstallation per se because I need both hands. Speaker goes in there, took it out for access. Various parts of the harness go to the door switches and whatnot. They'll get put back on when the door gets put on. This is the whole pattern for the unit. Let's see, what do we got outside? Yeah, there's the outside, the holes outside. And got to peel back this tape so you can get to these holes. No magic here. As I said, there's really good videos that do this step by step, guys that are able to put the camera down and do the work while they're describing what they're doing. This is pretty cut and dry. I'll mention now while I got the mirror here that one issue that I have is that these wires are not color coded with the factory wires. Really a non-issue, but for me, I don't know why they couldn't have just used the same color coding. However, the amount of wiring is the same, the connection points are the same. As long as they go to the same end users, then it's going to be fine. We'll know that shortly when I get it in. So I'm going to go ahead and start reinstalling. As I see stuff that bears mentioning, I'll show more. All right, so one bolt made. Probably should go over this bit. So this magnet end, need to get these bolts started. You need to have some kind of magnet, or I mean, you might trust the long socket to get in there, but if you lose the nut, you've lost the nut. Find the hole here. Well, I got to put the camera down, but that's the point. Right, so that's installed. So again, without going through all the reinstallation crap, there's where two of the holes are behind those grommets. The other two are hidden by this tweeter. This was real simple in here. Check online. There's a plate here, pops right out, 2 screws under there, a couple of screws down underneath. That comes off. This pops right off. Easy peasy. This pops off. All right, I still got to put the smoked marker lights on, and then we'll do a wrap. All right, so check engine light is on. I knew that already. Check engine light is on because the outside air temp sensor that is in that mirror was gone when it was removed, so that sent a code to the truck when it ran. If you're not going to run your vehicle after between the time you shut it off to put the mirror on and the time the mirror is installed, you probably won't get the code, but I just got to rescan it. I'm updating my scanner now. There is one weird condition that exists currently. I got no complaint with it. The new mirror here on the passenger side folds in quicker than the one on the driver's side. Well, the one on the driver's side was new at the end of 2015, so it's a 4-year-old drive assembly that's been out in the weather. I guess that's part of the problem. Maybe not. Maybe they're geared a little differently or whatever, but besides that, everything else works identically. Everything seems to be working fine. At this point, I got no issues with it. See how it does over the long haul. What else was there? Oh, the O-rings on the existing mirrors. This is a 2016. The O-rings on the parking lights on the existing mirrors are all rotted. All 4 of them. I just checked that because when I went to put in the new smoked lenses, they didn't come with O-rings. They didn't need to. The sockets are in your mirror, and the new mirror didn't come with O-rings. My mistake. The new mirror did. So the driver's side, when I went to change the lens to match the new lens for the other side, the O-rings were rotten. I took a look at the old sockets in the busted mirror. The O-rings were rotted. Why? Time, plus the heat. There's not much heat, but the parking lights are on all the time, and they're sticking out there in that black box in the sunlight and whatever. So the bottom line is O-rings. That was a little tricky for me to cobble something together. I had a kit. I was able to make some up, but be prepared to replace O-rings. All right, let's see where we're at here. I'll check my updates, and if I'm ready, I'll flash this check engine light. All right, code's gone. It was a P0073 code, which was ambient air temperature sensor high, and I was able to clear it from the dash cluster. I was not able to clear it in the ECU because the truck takes its own temperature. So in the next 100 miles or whatever, in some period of time, the truck will decide that there's no issue there, and it'll clear its own code. But as far as a standing code showing an engine warning light, that's over. And unless there's a faulty so-and-so, I'm not going to see that again. So at this point, job is done. It took about, 40 minutes because I had to update my software for the damn code reader, but it's probably about a half an hour worth of work putting it back together again. Probably about 20 minutes, half an hour taking it all apart. Would have been easier with two people. It appears to me that I'm looking with a critical eye to see some difference between these two mirrors. I see no difference at all. They look identical to me. The fit and finish, the relative geometry outside the truck when I stand in front of the truck looking at the two of them. So, end of the day, I'm in for 575. Fully functional replacement mirror that Ford wants more than double, like 1.5 times what I paid in the hour of my life wasted doing the work. Well, not counting the hours of searching to figure out what I was going to do online, but the actual labor. So not being a paid representative of or having any association with 1A Auto, I will say to a Ford Super Duty owner of both the steel body and the aluminum body, they offer the mirror replacements. They offer them with a lifetime warranty for manufacturer defects. Shipping was prompt. Shipping was free from Amazon for the mirror and free from them for the caps, and their shipping for the mirror, if I had bought it through them, would have been free as well. Conversations on the phone were short, sweet, to the point, got what I needed out of them. There was a delta between what I paid on Amazon and what I would have paid them on their web price. They deducted that delta from my Amazon cost. I got messaged by both them and Amazon that the price had been corrected. So that financially, everything spot on. Now I'm going to go get breakfast and we'll see just how these hold up. Adios.